Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Today the topic under discussion is diphtheria, and the main learning objectives of this lecture is that at the end you will be able to identify its causes, signs and symptoms, how it is transmitted, its potential complications, and how can we prevent diphtheria. And finally, how can you make diagnosis and how is its management. So, first of all, there is a short scenario. There is a 7-year-old boy who has presented to you in emergency with respiratory distress for one day. His mother told you that he had fever and sore throat for last 5 days. He had runny nose, myalgia, and arthralgias for last 2 days. When you have examined, he is lethargic and he had bilateral neck swelling. And his temperature is 101 degree Fahrenheit and respiratory rate is 40 per minute. On further examination, you have noticed a thick membrane covering his tonsils, and there are enlarged bilateral lymph nodes in the neck. So, what is the causative organism by just looking at the picture when there is a thick membrane and this enlarged lymph nodes? The causative organism is Corynebacterium diphtheriae, which has an incubation period of 2 to 5 days, and it gets transmitted by air droplets from human to human and close contact. Its main clinical features are fever, barking cough, sore throat, anorexia, vomiting, arthralgias, and myalgias. When you have ordered the labs, you have seen that in CBC, the hemoglobin is 12 gram per deciliter. His leukocyte count is 15,000, which is raised, and platelet count is 250,000. ESR is also raised, that is 50. And culture has revealed that there is Corynebacterium diphtheria, that is gram-positive rod. It is aerobic organism, and its main toxicity is due to the exotoxin which it produces. However, the X-ray chest and ECG is normal, and urine complete also showed a normal picture. Now, what is the management plan? First, admit the patient, and a basic principle is to maintain the airway, breathing, and circulation. Keep the patient isolated. That is more important in from other patients because it spreads by airborne droplets and contaminated personnel. And also protect yourself, own self, by wearing the gloves and mask and taking proper sanitation after coming in contact with the patient. Give him the antipyretics for high fever and then analgesics for the pain relief. Start antibiotics, that is the penicillin and erythromycin, for a total duration of 14 days. Give antitoxin, but before giving antitoxin, also perform the allergy test. Supportive care includes the input-output record, vital monitoring hourly, and then the oxygen saturation that should be kept above 90%. What are its complications? They are very much important, and you have to have an eye on the complications. These are the breathing problems that can be due to the pseudomembrane that may form in the nose or throat. There is myocarditis. It can cause dysphagia, dyspnea, muscle weakness, bacterial meningitis, otitis media, and urinary tract infection. So these are the some of the complications. How can we prevent it? It can be prevented by vaccination that is included in our EPS schedule along with the two other uh, uh, the potential vaccines that are tetanus and pertussis and diphtheria. They are given in the combination at 6 weeks, 10 weeks and 14 weeks, and then booster is given at 4 to 6 years and then the 13 years. So this is all about diphtheria, and I hope you got to know about all its causes and symptoms and prevention and complications. So if you have any of the queries, you can go through it again through the literature and go through the scenario as well. So thank you. This is all for this lecture.